Hey everybody, hope you're doing well today. Thanks for joining me again. Day 23, just 2 days away from celebrating the birth of Jesus, and the little ones getting all kinds of gifts under their tree, and then the stockings. Week 4, the week of peace. So let's just dig right into what we're reading today. And of course, this little fun one as well. My beautiful little red truck saying we're on the 23rd. Yay. 2 days away. A homemade advent calendar. Let's see what it says for today. Again, we're continuing in chapter 1 of Luke. Verses 57 to 66. Again, 57 to 66 of Luke. Get right into it. The birth of John the Baptist. So we were leading up to the telling of and everything, but this is actually happening. The birth of John the Baptist. When it was time for Elizabeth to have her baby, she gave birth to a son. Her neighbors and relatives heard that the Lord had shown her great mercy, and they shared her joy. On the 8th day, they came to circumcise the child, and they were going to name him after his father, Zechariah. But his mother spoke and said, "No, he is to be called John." They said to her, "There is no one among your relatives who has that name." Then they made signs to his father to find out what he would like to name the child. He asked for a writing tablet, and to everyone's astonishment, he wrote, "His name is John." Immediately his mouth was opened, and his tongue was set free, and he began to speak, praising God. All the neighbors were filled with awe, and throughout the hill country of Judea, people were talking about all these things. Everyone who heard this wondered about it, and were asking, "What then is this child going to be?" For the Lord's hand is with him. Thanks be to God. The fact that a family name, this is what I was kind of taken from this and how I relate it today, which is what I like to do. I just think about how the family name is so important. Family names are so important from then. Has me thinking about how many do this today. So on, you have junior, so on, or you have the first and the second, so forth of the last names, especially with men, But my mother's name is Mary, and my first name is Mary, but I go by my middle name. So even for women, there's certain levels of that. So when Elizabeth and Zechariah said their son's name would be John, the community was in shock. We take on the last name of our fathers here in the U.S., and then women take on the last name of their husband. When I lived in Costa Rica, I realized something different, however, and it's a lot of other Latin American countries as well. I learned about the surnames of how they do them there, and you can see this when people come here and travel. In Spain and a lot of Spanish American countries, except Argentina, it says in this article, each person has 2 surnames. Traditionally, the first surname is paternal, comes from the father, while the second surname is maternal and comes from the mother. It's really interesting, but I think it's beautiful, and to me it relates a lot with this. And I'll share a link so you can read a little bit more about it. But like I said, I learned a lot about this when I lived in Costa Rica, and just friends from Latin America here in the States as well. My grandfather's from Cuba, but it's just still interesting. Also, I think about how the Bible mentions son of David a lot, and how both Mary and Joseph had relations to David ancestrally, and, such as that, to include multiple generations later. So it's important to know, in southern parts of the U.S. and others are saying, who are your parents? Where are you from? So the name of John wouldn't benefit the knowledge of knowing where John came from. To me, this is very important in the aspect of God wanting his name to stand out. John the Baptist, John the Baptizer. I love how we still carry such cultural norms from the Bible today. Even they're a little different and so forth, but I just really like the idea. So the Acts of Kindness calendar for Advent. give a treat to your postal carrier. Let's see. There we go. Day 23. I love seeing these videos on social media and other areas of people leaving boxes of snacks and drinks out for the postal carriers, but also for delivery personnel from FedEx, Amazon, and all of these, UPS. This reminds me of Boxing Day. I went to visit my brother when he was stationed in England, and I traveled on the day after Christmas, which was known there as Boxing Day. Boxing Day in Great Britain and some Commonwealth countries, particularly Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, celebrate the holiday for December 26th of Boxing Day, on which servants, tradespeople, and the poor traditionally were presented with gifts. By the 21st century, it had become a day associated with shopping and sporting events as well. So I'll share a link that kind of explains that more too. I just thought it was really interesting when I learned that many years ago. And I think all these wonderful ideas and examples of kindness, especially representing the gift we're all given, how we connect this all, the gift from God of Jesus, our Savior. So about this week of peace, I kind of continue this, and I know act of kindness, and I just want to say, it's so blessed to me to give away those 2 recliners, and I was looking at where to give them and who's available. A lot of people don't pick them up anymore, and Council on Aging, and even if it goes in the thrift store, I'm glad they can be used since it's not working in my living room now. And to me, that's like the perfect time of the year to do a gift. It's not about me and brag, it's just something it really caught my attention that I could do this around Christmas time. So continue train of thought under this week of peace. I found how much sense of peace we can find by giving to others, like I was saying, and doing so selflessly. And it could be the smallest thing. Seeing the happiness on others' faces when we do good for them, and brings them a sense of peace, is mirrored by bringing us peace. What a wonderful chain of events. I've seen videos, again, some other videos about small acts of kindness done to individuals lead to something another person does to another person. It just puts you in that mind frame of peace and happiness and goodwill towards men. I couldn't find the link to my favorite ones, but I will share some links to some other ones that I found. I remember I've seen one where people are given a note at a gas station pump, or I think you may have some money too, but I know a note, and then the person's so happy and they go hand it to somebody else at a different pump for getting gas. And then I've seen some for kids, like putting a note, "You are special," and then that kid giving it to another kid, and it was just beautiful how it kind of came full circle almost. So have you ever been pleasantly surprised and blessed by someone else and then felt the urge to share that same gift or something similar to it with another person? It's beautiful, the cycle, and how much peace and happiness and joy. So anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow. This is Christmas Eve. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. So y'all take care. God bless. Love y'all. And peace be with you.